Monday morning. Whew, man. It's 47 degrees. It is freezing. We don't have a lot of battery right now. I thought I had plugged my bike in, but I didn't. It says 100%, but that's not reliable. But we should have enough to get to work, so. Pedal. Got my sunglasses on because I'm hoping it'll take out some of the glare once the sun pops out above those clouds. So I didn't do much riding this weekend. Well, I guess I did. I did that Friday night ride, and then I didn't do a Saturday night ride. Then I rode to, where did I ride to? I rode to the park, but not much. Just go get us an energy drink, and then we'll see which way we go. It is late. It's like 7:15, I think, right now. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Well, we can't really navigate this. We're gonna have to use the old crosswalk. What's up, crows? Friend of the crows. Oh, let's just do this. Let's get back to familiar territory.
Oui.
Shoot, man. We're gonna be late. Okay. Just pass me, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These cars are going really too slow. Yeah, it's so cold right now, man. This is painful. This street got there? What's going on these streets? We usually go over here and cut down this alley. Look at somebody's got a boat. It's gonna be a dead end, huh? Interesting. Waverly. This is the alley right here. Do not enter. Gonna have to endure it. So we are on Cambridge, heading towards Irvine. Man, my forehead is frozen. So the coldest parts right now are my feet, my legs, my forehead, my cheeks. I have my sunglasses on, so that's helping a little bit. on my hands. Not unbearable, but it's not comfortable at all. We're just going to cut down to the creek. I would love to just turn around right now, go back to my house. Get under the blankets and watch YouTube. We gotta overcome this thinking here. It's invasive. We gotta enjoy the moment. Oh my gosh, man, my forehead is so cold. I don't remember ever having my forehead get cold like this. Yeah, it was a funny thing. I was considering putting a beanie hat over my head covering. I should have done that. It stinks pretty bad down here for some reason. Let's cut through the grass. Train's coming. I have some hand warmers I was going to pass out to these homeless people, but I can do it on my way home. These little blankies. I think they might be blankets. I'm not too sure. People are all packed up. Look at all their gear. There's a racetrack right there for RC cars that keeps evolving. I'll have to check it out on the way home. When you stand up and then your seat freezes and then you got to sit back down. Not comfortable. Look at something real quick. Oh man. Okay, good. Sometimes my wife leaves me a text to do stuff for her in the morning. I did not look today. Try to cover my face a little more. I really can't though. Oh my word, it is cold. This is, I would say this is the coldest morning this year, yeah. I know we had some other mornings this cold. Y'all. Getting to the city, it's a little warmer, but not yet. My head is like totally aching, like I have a brain freeze. Like I ate ice cream too fast. Traffic. Mucho traffico. Oh, so check this out. So I gotta think of something to talk about. So I just thought of something. So I know there's a lot like going on everywhere. It seems a lot. I guess there always has been, but it seems particularly wild. 2025 and 2026 seems like it's getting even crazier. I mean, with the I won't, you know, with all these little, this is crazy. Like, some crazy decisions are being made. I mean, so a geopolitical in geopolitical respect, and then all this stuff with this ICE immigration stuff, and then it's wild. It's really wild. And so I was just like, I'm really just kind of wrapped up in mostly the UFO stuff, and even that's pretty crazy this year. There's just a lot of stuff getting uncovered, and the more you figure out, the more confusing things get. But last night I was like, I don't scroll, you know. I guess I do scroll a little bit on YouTube, but it's usually just like watching shorts that have to do with e-biking or UFOs. And I don't really go on Instagram or TikTok, but all my Instagram stuff is like all news accounts, you know, mostly like local news accounts, like for Southern California, you know, the Orange County and the greater Los Angeles, the Inland Empire, and just like all the stuff that's pretty much like street stuff. And so I scrolled last night, and for a long time, like over an hour, just trying to get the vibe of everything that's going on. And I literally had a physical response to all the stuff that I was seeing. It was because I don't really look at that stuff anymore. I used to watch a lot of true crime, and but that wouldn't really give me a nervous feeling, you know. But anyway, yeah, by the time, like, so I was just like all the street fights, and I know that like once you watch one, it like sets this algorithm, you know. But there was like, because equally, if you watch like a video where somebody's doing something nice to another person, you know, or you watch a cat video, you know, it's like, or a dog video, you're gonna start getting those videos. But like the feeling that it can give you, like after watching a bunch of those, you know, like, so I watched a bunch of stuff that was going on in Santa Ana, you know, like on the weekend, like some ice stuff, and then some street fights. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Like I saw like various shootings like in the areas I ride, like multiple shootings in the areas I ride, and then I saw fights on campuses between gangs that I'm familiar with, just from I went through a period where I was figuring out where all the gangs territories were around here, and then it's spreading out from here into like the IE and Riverside. So for like an hour, I watched crazy videos. So ICE, gangs, just regular weird social stuff going down in like Walmarts. And when I got done, it was like late. You know, I had to fall asleep. So I've got this UFO channel I watched called the Dreamland Motel. And it's this guy Xander, and he just narrates different current and historical like UFO incidents and programs, and it's really cool. I like it a lot. Very relaxing. So he narrates, he writes his own script, and or his own description of different events in his own words. So he put out like a 7-hour. So he got sick, so he hasn't been putting out new content. So he did like a 7-hour like best of type of thing, and so I put that on so I could fall asleep, and I couldn't relax, man. Like, I mean, I could relax, but like I just felt like saying anxiety or panic is too extreme. Like, it wasn't like that bad, you know, like I wasn't freaking out, but just I could feel a distinct difference. Like, usually when I lay down, I'm just like, oh yeah, like I'm comfortable and I'm like cozy, and I'm like all right. I love to lay down. I love to rest, you know. And yeah, it took a while. I mean, I didn't lay around rolling around thinking about stuff. So there was a shooting right here on Pine Street. But it was just really strange, like that distinction, like was absolutely like related to the morning. Was absolutely related to what I chose to watch. So I think we don't realize like what we. It's just like what you put into your body, you know. And then I was thinking about how lately, like when I eat, like I'll go a long time without eating, and then I'll eat something, and I'll like I definitely don't have an eating problem. I like, as far as I don't overeat, as like continuously. I'm like pretty healthy and strong, but what I'm getting at is like sometimes I wait too long in between meals. So instead of eating like if I get a cheeseburger, like a massive cheeseburger, like I'm gonna eat half of it. Or if I get, it just depends. But you know, when you let yourself get too hungry, like instead I'll eat a whole cheeseburger and eat French fries, and then I'll just feel super uncomfortable afterwards. Like yesterday I went all day without eating, and we made my wife made steak and potatoes, which I can't really eat steak because I have some broken molars. So but they made these little mini potatoes. And these little mini potatoes are have tons of butter and garlic and rosemary. You know, they're basically in this little, you know, there's little red potatoes and little, good morning, these little golden potatoes. And so I was gonna eat my favorite cheese bread, you know, that I was making that for my daughter, because my daughter was like, my daughter had a plate of steak, just a small little plate, and she doesn't really eat meat. This isn't because like we eat everything. Like my wife isn't vegetarian, but she kind of leans towards that, you know. And me, I'm just like eat everything. I grew up on steak and like meat and potatoes. Meat, potatoes, and vegetables was like my whole childhood. when my daughter was like picking at the steak, you know, and it was ribeyes, and my wife cooked it. You know, I usually cook it, but my wife did a much better job. But she doesn't eat steak, so she doesn't know how to cook it, and I don't really know how to cook it. So she looked up a bunch of different ways to cook it, and she did awesome. I tasted it; it was really good, like super good. And so my daughter was picking at it, and she's like, I don't want to eat it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna make some. We're like, you don't like it? And she's like, no. She's like, this is a cow. She loves animals, you know. She loves animals. She loves animals and critters and creatures. Like, she doesn't. She loves her little stuffed animals. Like, if you like sit on her stuffed animals, she's like, she gets like upset, like where she'll cry, like she doesn't want, like she sees life and everything, you know. She's so like kind, you know. And anyway, so she's like, it's a cow. She didn't want to eat it. So I made these massive pieces of sourdough cheese bread for us, and so I can usually eat one piece. They're big. They're like that big. You know, that sourdough loaf that I don't remember who makes it. It just has that maroon and white label on it. So I grabbed the biggest pieces out of that. Anyway, so I ate that whole thing. And I had already eaten probably 10 potatoes. And I ate that whole piece of cheese bread. And then it just took me out, man. It just totally took me out. And I had mentioned a while back where I ate that whole cheeseburger from In-N-Out. Same thing. It just takes you down. So whatever you put into your body and how much of it, you know, there's going to be a result, right? And it could be an uncomfortable result. So that's how it was watching whatever you put into your mind, you know, you're gonna, if it's not processed, if you can't process it properly, or you're not processing, you're just downloading it, you know, you're just downloading these crazy events that are going on around you. Like it's going to affect you at a minimum, and sometimes even it's going to, I can't think of the word that I want to say. It's going to resurface, you know. So I think we do that a lot. I think that's why, like, there's a lot of negative self-talk in your mind. It's gonna come out, and like repeating. You're gonna repeat. You're gonna repeat that behavior. Like you're gonna manifest that. Like if you do something and you have shame or you feel guilt and you don't process that properly and understand why you did it, and you know what may have caused that, like it's just gonna keep reoccurring until you get that like figured out. Or you're gonna criticize other people and attack other people. It'll come out in that way, or come out in both ways. So I think it's good to have like a balance of how you eat and what you're taking into your mind, and really just taking time to ruminate on things is really important. Like, so, you know, realizing in that moment as I was taking in all this negativity and just this base human behavior, I think it's important to know everything that's going on, but then, you know, you have to counter it and see, like, maybe look up stuff of people doing kind, generous things. And I know a lot of that stuff on the internet's like set up, you know, but that's fine too. You know, but don't just be careful what you're taking into your mind and your body. Just being conscious of it, you know, being conscious of it, like. Definitely moderate it. Such a weird little area right here. And same even with the UFO stuff, you know, like, if that's all I'm obsessing over and watching, like, can kind of give you this, the cool thing about the UFO stuff though is they're like delving into the consciousness aspect of it. So there's people that believe like in angels and demons aspect of it, and because we love that kind of drama. But like there's also people like Chris Bledsoe that takes it to an extreme with this religious type of thing. But like there's this consciousness side of it, so that's good. That helps like even out the UFO thing. But what I'm getting at is if you get too wrapped up in it, you lose your spiritual backbone a little bit, and you start like, I think you kind of have this, it's like a fugue of like ontological fever, where you don't really have a baseline anymore, and it kind of throws you off. So you're kind of just always walking around in a haze. So I guess, and this isn't a pre-thought out thing here. This is just off the top of my head. I'm just thinking about this stuff and kind of talking to myself about just being conscious of what you're thinking about, why you're thinking about it, being conscious of what you eat, so what you put into your body, you know. Don't eat too much. Don't eat a bunch of potatoes and then a bunch of cheese bread, you know, because that's like gonna take you down. You gotta be, you know, I think the only thing we should do in excess is maybe drink a lot of water, because your daily amount of water that you're supposed to have is a lot. So, I mean, I know if you drink too much water, that's bad too, but it's really hard to drink a lot of water. You gotta really, and there's no pleasure in drinking a bunch of water. But I would say, if you're gonna overindulge in water. I would even say getting too much into always everything good could probably be, I mean, I guess it depends on what your like center is, right? So if you're extreme in one way, you might need spirituality and like religion and all that in excess to overcome, you know, if you're in the negatives, you're just trying to, sometimes you got to do that just to be at zero, right? But you don't want to lose. I feel like I've always felt like I want to be a cool person, like all the time. I want to be a kind person all the time and not react, you know? But at the same time, I think like it has to be a balance. It's all about balance and polarity. You gotta have a little bit of both. I don't think you want to lose your hard edge. You know, that hard edge is what is like a survival instinct. You know, you can't become too soft. I think there is like justice. You know, I think there's behind everything there are laws, and I think that you can, if you get quiet often enough, you'll kind of just naturally understand those laws and be able to be guided by those laws, you know. I mean, there's some times where, like, so, and justice is one of those things with a capital J. That means something, you know. It's not just like doing something wrong and then going to court. There's a right and a wrong way to be. I believe that, you know. Look at the sunshine. Clouds look great. Anyway. What we do, we need like we all affect each other, you know, whether we believe that or not. See if we can hit every red light going out of town here. That's all right. That's all right. There was a gnarly wreck and a gnarly accident in Orange on, I'm sure everybody's seen it by now, but on Batavia and La Vida, so right where I ride all the time, you know, where I go by St. Joseph's Church and then Chalk Hospital, that area right there. A guy and a girl in a BMW. I haven't seen like all the details yet, but I know the girl didn't make it and the guy survived, but I think it had been mentioned that he was running from the cops, possibly. It was a car chase, I don't know. I'll have to look at it a little. I probably won't look at it anymore. But this BMW literally got ripped in half. guess it's getting warmer, or I've adapted to it. I'm sure it's getting warmer. It's probably only like 50 right now. Looking over my shoulder, ran off the road. Could have been bad. Jet coming in. Oh, what the heck? That jet was coming into land and then it pulled up and out. That's crazy. What happened? That was pretty wild. Because when that jet's coming in, sometimes there's planes taking off. What the heck? When I first started working at this place almost 16 years ago, it'll be 16 years in March. You come into work and you have this orientation, and then I met with you meet with the safety team too, and I don't remember all the details, but I had moved from a small town, like, I don't know how many people, like 40, no, it was more than 40,000, 50,000 people, I was living in Porterville. I'd been there for about 4 or 5 years. After kind of traveling around for 15 years, I moved out here. So most of my life, I just kind of drifted around, and I was on an adventure, for a long time, very long time. I never stayed in one spot too long, but I had been back in my hometown for longer than I wanted to be. I'd been there for probably five years, and I felt myself growing roots. I was just like, I gotta go, and I was gonna move up to. I was gonna try to move up to Santa Rosa with a friend of mine that was living up there, going to Sonoma State, and then but then I met this, well, I didn't meet this girl, I knew this girl down here, and then I started seeing her, and that's how I ended up down here. But it was kind of, it was a totally different, living in Orange County is a lot different than living in Tulare County, so it was an adjustment. It was an easy adjustment for me, to be in a chaotic place. But it was just interesting that during that orientation, they said they were talking about plane crashes and what to do, that that like where we're at, like our location, it's possible that there could be a plane like crash. It was pretty it was pretty wild. I mean, I'm not laughing at a plane crash, but I'm just laughing at this person's I was like, that wouldn't even occur to me that working like right here, that I would be in any kind of danger of a plane crashing into the building or crashing to where it's going to affect us. I guess they were right, but that safety person doesn't work here anymore, and I haven't heard any other safety people that even mention the airport. I would say like the safety team where I work has been a revolving door since I started. We've had so many, like, our EHS department is a total revolving door. So I've got, I know like last week or the week before I was talking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, that album, What Hits. It's totally stuck in my head still. So that song, True Men Don't Kill Coyotes, is going over and over in my head. And then once I learned the lyrics, like, I mean, I knew the words, but I didn't know them like fully. Because some stuff, it's hard to understand what they're saying. Those words keep going over in my head, over and over and over again. Wait. So that's, for me, that's the song of the day. True Men Don't Kill Coyotes. I think it's just like, it's about Hollywood, you know, running around in the Hollywood Hills. I'm sure it's about them just running amok in the Hollywood Hills, and they probably saw some coyotes and then wrote a song about it. And then they kind of put that Native American, I think Anthony Kiedis is Native American. They've always had that kind of tribal vibe. I'm definitely late. This car is a little bit crazy right here. Oh, he's on his cell phone, that's why. All right, Monday. All right, well, thanks for watching my video. I hope everybody had a good Monday. I hope I have a good Monday. Is it a choice? I don't think it's always a choice. I think it's a choice. We have a choice on how we can react to it. Oh. Right, we'll catch you on the next one.